His son filmed a video at 8:44 in the evening. Just a dog at the kennel, nothing special. But in the background, a voice. His father's voice. The same father who had told police he was never there that night. That video sat locked in a phone for a year. When investigators finally got inside it, everything changed. His name is Alex Murdaugh, and the most disturbing thing about this case is not that he was convicted. It is that 3 years later, the conviction no longer exists. The Murdaugh family had run South Carolina's low-country legal system for nearly a century. For 3 consecutive generations, from 1920 to 2006, a Murdaugh served as the elected chief prosecutor for South Carolina's 14th Judicial Circuit. 5 counties, enormous power. The kind of power that becomes invisible because it has always been there. Alex Murdaugh was the 4th generation, a personal injury attorney at the family firm, wealthy, connected, trusted, and behind closed doors, he was stealing from his clients. For decades, he stole from grieving families who had hired him for wrongful death lawsuits. He stole from injured workers. He stole from the estate of his own housekeeper, Gloria Satterfield, who died after a fall at the Murdaugh property. He told her sons he would handle the lawsuit on their behalf. Then he stole the settlement. $4 million from the sons of the woman who had worked in his home for years. By the time investigators eventually totaled everything, the number exceeded $9 million. Stolen from clients, stolen from his own law firm, over more than 2 decades. The addiction started in the early 2000s. Alex Murdaugh became dependent on opioids, and when the prescription bills mounted, he found another way to pay them. He stole. And when the stolen money was not enough, he stole more. And for 20 years, the weight of it built. By the summer of 2021, the walls were finally closing in. On the very day his wife and son were killed, the chief financial officer of Murdaugh's law firm confronted him about roughly $792,000 in fees that should have gone to the firm, but had been paid directly to him instead. A hearing in a wrongful death lawsuit from a 2019 boat crash involving his son Paul was scheduled for 3 days later. Prosecutors believed that hearing would force disclosure of financial records that would expose everything. Alex Murdaugh was about to lose everything he had built, everything his family had built, in 1 week. On the evening of June 7th, 2021, Alex Murdaugh called 911 at 10:07 p.m. "I've been up to it now. It's bad." He told investigators he had been visiting his ailing mother, that he had returned home to find his wife, Maggie, 52, and his son, Paul, 22, at the family's dog kennels on their rural hunting estate in Islandton, South Carolina. He told them he had never been near the kennels that evening. He said he found them there and called for help. Investigators treated it as an unknown assailant case, a family of that standing in the community. Nobody looked too hard. Not at first. Then a phone locked for almost a year finally gave up its contents. Paul Murdaugh had been filming at the kennels that evening. Just a dog, nothing remarkable. Except at 8:44 p.m., in the background of the video, a voice. Familiar, calm, unhurried. Alex Murdaugh's voice. Placing him at the exact location he had told investigators he never visited, minutes before his wife and son were killed. Murdaugh was confronted with the video. He admitted he had lied. The trial of Alex Murdaugh began in January 2023. South Carolina called it the trial of the century. The prosecution laid out a motive so specific that it narrowed the case to a single week. A gathering financial storm. A lawsuit hearing scheduled for 3 days after the murders. A CFO confrontation on the same day. Prosecutors argued that Alex Murdaugh killed his wife and son to generate a wave of sympathy, to delay the exposure, to buy himself time. His family's deaths, prosecutors argued, were intended to make him look like a victim. They also found a raincoat with gunshot residue at the home of Murdaugh's own mother. Alex Murdaugh took the stand in his own defense. He wept. He described what he found at the kennels that night in detail. He said he loved his wife and son. He was asked directly if he killed them. He said no. The jury deliberated for just a few hours. Guilty, all 4 counts. 2 counts of murder, 2 counts of possession of a weapon during the commission of a violent crime. 2 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole. And then the woman who ran the courtroom made a decision that changed everything. Becky Hill was the Colleton County Clerk of Court. She had written a book about the trial while she was still running it. She had shown a reporter photographs that were part of a sealed court record. And before the defense presented its case to the jury, she had told the jurors something she had no right to say. She told them the defense was about to try to confuse them. She told them not to let the defense convince them. She told them not to be thrown off. Before the defense had said a single word to the jury, the woman running the courtroom had told them not to listen. On May 13, 2026, the South Carolina Supreme Court ruled. 5 justices, unanimous. Hill placed her fingers on the scales of justice. Shocking jury interference. Murdaugh was denied his right to a fair trial. The conviction was overturned. Both counts. Becky Hill had already pleaded guilty to obstruction of justice, perjury, and misconduct in office. She had promoted her book about the trial using her public position. She had taken bonuses. She had interfered with the jury. And because of what she did, Alex Murdaugh, convicted of killing his wife and son, walked out of a courtroom having his convictions erased. The retrial is scheduled for April 5, 2027. It will look very different from the first. In the original trial, the jury heard more than 12 hours of testimony about Alex Murdaugh's financial crimes. Prosecutors argued those crimes were his motive. The Supreme Court said that evidence went far beyond what was necessary. In the retrial, that financial evidence will be significantly restricted. The jury that convicted him heard everything. The next jury will hear much less. The defense has now seen the prosecution's entire case from start to finish. Every witness, every piece of evidence, every argument. Legal experts called that a gigantic advantage, and the defense has asked for new forensic analysis. DNA found under Maggie Murdaugh's fingernails, never fully analyzed. They want it tested using genetic genealogy. The results, if they find anything, could reframe the case entirely. Maggie Murdaugh was 52 years old. She was described by those who knew her as warm, devoted, and deeply loved by everyone around her. Paul Murdaugh was 22. He had his whole life in front of him. Whoever killed them at those kennels on June 7, 2021, has not yet been held permanently accountable. The first conviction is gone. The retrial is a year away. And everything the jury that convicted him knew, the next jury may never hear. This is not the end of the Alex Murdaugh story. It may not even be the middle. In April 2027, a new jury will sit in a South Carolina courtroom. They will hear a different version of the same case, with less evidence and a defense team that has spent 4 years preparing for exactly this moment. Whether they reach the same verdict, nobody knows. What we know is this. On the evening of June 7th, 2021, Paul Murdaugh filmed a video at 8:44 p.m. Just a dog at the kennel. In the background, his father's voice. 90 minutes later, Paul and his mother were dead, and the man whose voice was on that video is preparing to face a jury one more time. If this case stayed with you, share it with someone you trust. And if you want more cases like this one, subscribe. A new case drops every Thursday. I'll see you in the next one.